Yo, what's going on, Mohan family? What's up, everybody? And give you guys a little bit of an update on what's happening in my education. I'm currently trying to pass some classes. I got 5 classes, and I wanted to tell you about one of the classes that's kind of upsetting me, and I wish things were a little bit different. My major is business, and it's with the concentration in management information systems. So I'm a junior right now at George Mason, and I have a couple more classes I gotta take. So every business student has to take a law class, and I sign up only for online classes, because ever since after COVID-19, everybody's able to sign up for online classes. So that's typically how I learn and how I go about my classes. And I'm in the fall semester right now. Guys, I really just feel upset with this law class that I'm taking, because I feel like it's really gearing away, going away from what I'm actually trying to study, which is my degree, management information systems. And with this law class, it's really just making it seem like it's something that I'm gonna end up studying, something that I'm gonna end up doing, like becoming a lawyer or becoming a judge or an attorney, which is not something that I'm willing to do. And that's the tough part about some of these classes in my business school. They give you classes that will literally make you question, like, is this stuff that I'm actually gonna be able to use when I get a job? Is this information that I should actually take in and I'll acquire it for a job that I'll have in my future? These are a lot of questions that I ask myself too, and the toughest part is when you get a really, really harsh professor and the way that they structured their class. That's what makes a harsh professor. So I have this professor, and she's very kind. I've spoken to her. I would not say anything that she's not a kind professor or anything, but I would say the way that she structured her class, it made it to the point where you feel like you're not even going to be able to pass the class. And it's that type of difficulty that this class has. And it's the assignments that are within the class that make it hard. So she's requiring us to do like these assignments that's off Cengage, and it's these mind tape assignments where you just got to answer questions, and it's really just like practice and stuff, which is not too bad. It's referring back to the textbook. And then there's the lecture videos that you have to answer like 3 or 4 questions. Well, I think the hardest part is the test and the essays. And you guys would think that with the test and essay you would get a lot of time, but that's not how it is with this class. In this class, I'll first start by talking about the exams. The exams, it's not that many questions. It's like 30 to 35 questions. But the most difficult part about this test, when you take it, it's the amount of time that you get. You only get 35 minutes for these tests. And it's like the amount of time you get is very little. Imagine you had to answer 35 tough law questions in 30 minutes. Would you be able to do it? Why am I having to take this really tough test in such a short amount of time? It's not really the questions for me. It's the amount of time that we are getting. If we got like an hour more time, it would be okay. It wouldn't be bad. I mean, the questions are not that tough. What makes the questions tough though is the amount of time you get. You only get a minute or less to answer each question. So it's very, very, very hard mentally to be like preparing yourself to take this test. And there's 4 of these exams or 5 of these exams that we have to take throughout the semester. And to top it off, the professor has required us to take essays, timed essays in 35 minutes, where we have to write 300 to 500 words of an essay that has to require law support, and we could only use the lecture videos, and we could only use the textbooks. We're not able to use there's no open books. There's nothing you could use of any type of other resource other than the resources that she has. Think about it like this. You have to take these essays and you can only use her resources. So you gotta have really, really good notes, and you gotta write a really good essay 300 to 500 word, and it has to all be answering these questions. So right when you, and it's not like we understand what the essay is going to be about, what the questions are. So when we get to the essay, we're going to be ready. You know, it's everything is new. The only thing that's not new is the case study that she gives us, so we can provide the law support. But it's like once you begin that essay, you gotta be right away. You gotta think. You gotta read these questions really quickly, and you gotta start typing. You gotta look at your notes really quickly, and you gotta make sure that this essay is really good. So I'll give the teacher the benefit of the doubt. There is something that she is doing. The thing that she's doing really well is she'll drop an essay score. So out of the 4 or 5 essays that we get, or the 4 or 5 exams that we get, she'll drop the lowest score. But is it enough to make up for the time that we got for the essay and the test? No, it's not. It's really just, it's like, why, professor? You know, I get that it's like law is hard, but it's not essentially directed to me. It's not that as if I'm going to be putting my time and my effort to become a lawyer or a judge, an attorney, whatever people do when they study law. That's not something that I'm dedicating my time to. It's management information systems. That's what I want to do. And I know that this law class, it really doesn't have as much relevance, because when with my classes, I know specifically what classes are towards my concentration, because it'll say MIS. I'm taking 3 classes now: MIS 310, MIS 320, and MIS 415. These are the 3 classes that I'm taking. So I know those are directly to my concentration, my major, management information systems. But these extra classes that us business students have to take as to finishing our degree, it's ridiculous. And it's something that really has to be adjusted, because at this time, it's not necessary for us to learn so much of this extra information, you know, because how much of this is going to be retrieved at the end of the day? How much of this is going to come back to us? It's not. You know, the best way that I find to learn is something that's engaging, you know, something that's fun. You know, a lot of the reasons why I like to record YouTube videos and make my content is because that I enjoy it. So the learning process is not as hard into becoming a better and better YouTuber. But when it comes to trying to get a degree and trying to learn something and obtain it, they have made it so difficult for someone to get a degree. I mean, I could only imagine how hard it is for people when they become engineers, doctors, you know, all of that stuff, and computer science. You know, I didn't even want to do all that stuff because I could see clearly how much I'm capable of. You know, I love to learn. I think learning is good, but I'll say I think that teachers, I don't know if it's at the hands of the professor, or if it's at the hands of these universities, or if it's just this law, or if it's just this business school that I'm at and how they structure their classes. But I think there should be some fine adjustments. Should be less demand for students to learn things that they're not going to be able to use. You know, once we get our jobs, once we finish our degrees and get a job or do internships, we're going to get that training that we need. And obviously there's going to be a level of knowledge that we'll come back to from, you know, studying at university. But is everything going to be useful? I don't think so. Not everything we learn at university is useful. Only some stuff I will agree on that is useful. But this class, this law class, I'm really stressed about taking it, and I'm trying to be positive. That's the only thing that I could do, Mohawk family, is being positive. Positivity kills negativity any day.